A prayer for oneness. Elohim, Yud-He, Waw-He. Teach me all things. Give me a heart to understand. Remove all the dross, the worthless misinformation. Let it fall like fetters from my sight. I know you, and I am known by you. I rule as kings do, and have need of nothing. I accept all that is, and nothing can harm me. I am a being of light that cannot be hidden, and can go through all things. I am known. I am not of this world. I come from above. I came to this world to reveal darkness until darkness is light. There is no darkness. There is no evil. All are advocates to God and servants to good. A corpse is no longer that entity, and death only serves to inspire life. A shadow must follow its maker, and so within every lie is seen the form of its truth. The rest is non-existence. I see all that is. Yud-He, Waw-He, and I are one. So when we make this prayer, some people are hesitant to ask to know all things. So there's like a good side and a bad side, a counterfeit to everything. So if we focus on the negativity, people have gone about things the wrong way to seek knowledge that is of this world. And so then people would want to frown on it. But the people who are of this world, they don't want you to have that higher spiritual knowledge because it can't comprehend that. It kind of bugs them. So I wanted to bring out some verses before I mention this video that I was watching that Daniel purposed in his heart to understand. So we should be single-minded to know God. It's like a state of meditation, or it's just that state of being sold out. Like the highest command is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. So if we're divided at all, to also be like Lot's wife, to turn behind us, to look at this world, to be attached to something else other than God, then we can't be attached to God. We still have that taint. But Messiah has cleansed everything, so nothing can actually taint us. The taint is more in our conscience, that our conscience would be seared, like Paul is talking about in 1 Corinthians. Nothing can harm us, but we harm ourselves by having a weak conscience. So to know and understand all things. And so we see that Messiah knows all things, but that we also, when we are of the Spirit, we know all things. We have an anointing from the Holy One, and all of you know the truth. And in 1 Corinthians chapter 1 or 2, it's talking about how eye has not seen, mind has not heard, but we know all things and we have the mind of Christ. So it's a spiritual thing that can't really be understood to explain to somebody else who isn't of the Spirit. We have to realize we are spiritual beings first and foremost. Our body is a vessel that enables us to interact with this world, but we have to realize that the spiritual supersedes the physical, and then we can let go of all this physical things and be of the Spirit. So to search for wisdom, to search for understanding, this should be our first and foremost, our sole focus, not the wisdom of this world that is passing away, the understanding, the knowledge of this world, but this higher thing that is connected with love. It can't be explained in physical terms fully. You could say it's like this or like that because that's the shadow of it that it casts. But to have this wisdom that knows all things, it's like this knowing where you can know what is lie and you know what is truth. So you might not be able to fully explain the things of this world, but that is the shadow of it. So if you see the heavenly version like Moses did, then he can make this more earthly counterpart to it, like he did with the bronze serpent. It wasn't a fiery serpent, it was a bronze serpent, but it's an image of what God had showed him and asked him to make for the people. So there's this heavenly version that we can be connected. It's like an intuitiveness. So in Quest, it's almost like when you let go of it, when you're like, okay, well, I've probably found all I could find on this topic. This, I thought, kind of hit it home. Of course, after it sinks in a while, there's always room for change. Sorry, my son is extra loud today. But this was really interesting. It's not that we secretly serve the tall whites, like they're giving us the commands, but that we've made deals. This kind of fits in the blanks, like around when the crash happened in, I think it was like 1951-ish. Not long after that, I think there were deals were made with these tall whites or some other beings, and that from there formed this shadow government, I think, that manipulates our actual government and tries to control, and that they're hungry for power, and that so that's why they make these deals. And I think the tall whites are kind of standoffish because they see that man is corrupted, looking for money and power, and that they're not actually serving the people that they're supposed to be serving in kind, compassionate ways, but are self-serving. So I think that so behind this shadow government, I think, are the tall whites that have helped increase our technology and stuff. So this was a really informative video, and I'm looking forward to watching other videos. So I wanted to pass that on to you to encourage you not to be afraid of anything, so long as your conscience isn't getting seared. I don't want anybody to have more than they can handle. Make sure your eyes are always on God, seeking Him in all things, above all things, not being brought down by the things of this world. But kind of how I live my life is, I understand that like there's like spiritual highs that I go through where I kind of leaving everything else behind so I can solely focus on devoting myself to Bible studies and stuff. But I kind of just go with the flow to also bring God just as much down to the lows of this world, like the conspiracy kinds of things. I'm not afraid of things. So everybody, to each their own, whatever you could handle. But I thought this one kind of, at least the other one too that we watched, that was really informative and kind of fill in those blanks really well, where you know there's something off, and this is like the best explanation up to date that I've seen to explain these inconsistencies of tales that you hear and help things all line up, connect the dots. So thanks so much for watching, and Hashem bless you.